What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to another episode of The Drop. I hope this video finds you well, and today we have quite the conglomeration of games coming out, including one that I am so incredibly concerned about, and that is the headliner Metal Gear Survive, and we'll talk about it more in a minute. But I want the best for the Metal Gear franchise as somebody who is an onlooker. You know, I'm not big into Metal Gear, but I want the franchise to do well, and I certainly don't think the best bet for its future was to put it all entirely in the hands of Konami. But we'll talk about that. Then we also have a game called The Station, a game called Past Here, and a couple of honorable mentions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Kicking things off this week, we have Metal Gear Survive coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Metal Gear Survive builds upon Metal Gear Solid 5's enduring stealth action gameplay while introducing the new elements of exploration and survival to create a bold new experience. Survive is a spin-off of Metal Gear Solid 5 that takes place in a strange alternative universe. Create your own character and learn to survive, scavenge resources, craft weapons, build a base camp, and explore the unknown while developing the survival skills necessary in this hostile environment. In co-op mode, assemble a team of 4 players to infiltrate and defend areas from hordes of creatures, place fortifications and defensive weapons strategically to give you an advantage against the ever-intensifying enemies. Teamwork and resourcefulness are key in this fast-paced co-op mission environment. This game is stressing me out, and I have no reason to be stressed out. So for those that don't know, I appreciate Metal Gear. I know what it means to the gaming industry as a whole, but when it comes to me getting hands-on time with the game and truly enjoying it, I just can't. I'm just not a big Metal Gear dude, but whenever I heard about Survive, I'm sitting here thinking, you know, maybe bring some zombies in, some kind of mutant alternative universe thing. You know, Konami and Kojima, they had a weird thing going on with Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. And so with that being said, you know, I was kind of open to it, but after looking at some gameplay and the elements that are being brought in, I don't know about that. For longtime fans, look at this game as kind of the black sheep of the bunch. Don't go in expecting a Metal Gear game, even though you see Metal Gear on the box. It is not going to be your standard kind of Metal Gear experience. In fact, the majority of hardcore fans, from what I can gather, are pretty much marking this as the end of true Metal Gear games. There are not going to be any more because Konami is all concerned about making money and trying to make the franchise something it's not. With that being said, you know, considering how strange a Konami/Kojima game tends to be, this game is as weird as they come. So with that being said, it is going to have that element that you expect from Metal Gear, but I feel like it's going to be hollow. I feel like it's going to be the black sheep of the bunch, as I said. So with this one, you know, take my opinion with a grain of salt since I'm not a huge Metal Gear guy, but I'm going to be avoiding this one, to be honest with you. Next up, we have a game called The Station coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. The Station is a first-person sci-fi mystery set on a space station sent to study a sentient alien civilization. There were a lot of S's and C sounds in that sentence. Assuming the role of a recon specialist, players must unravel a mystery which will decide the fate of 2 civilizations. Not 1, but 2. How would you react if we discovered a sentient alien civilization challenging everything we know about biology, chemistry, physics, religion, and answering the questions man has asked throughout history? But what if this sentient alien civilization was discovered in a state of civil war? Determining that the rewards do outweigh the risk, an undetectable space station with a small 3-person crew deploys to research the alien culture in search of a means towards a peaceful relationship. Unable to contact the crew, a recon specialist is sent to uncover what happened. What players discover will challenge their view of surveillance, imperialism, and moral law, which it sounds really deep to me. Now, for me, looking at this game and checking out the gameplay, I'm getting a strong Tacoma vibe. And for those that don't know what Tacoma is, it's actually a game that came out from the makers of Gone Home, which is another kind of exploration, creepy vibe kind of game. But essentially in Tacoma, you wandered around this abandoned space station and you had to kind of use clues to figure out what happened. And so after reading what the station is bringing to the table here, I mean, it sounds like a very similar kind of thing, although a little bit deeper with that new alien civilization and the Civil War and whatnot. For those that like to kind of, you know, dig deep into a story that is rich with lore and back history, I feel like this one is going to be perfect. For those that are looking for a space exploration game where you fight aliens and you go on aboard a spaceship and it's kind of like an Alien Covenant kind of thing, probably not going to be one that you want. But with that being said, you know, after checking out some gameplay, a beautiful looking game. For those that were fans of Tacoma, perhaps, you might want to check out The Station when it hits the PlayStation PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC this week. And finally, we have Past Cure coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Past Cure is a dark psychological thriller that blurs the lines between dreams and reality, an intense cinematic story-driven experience that challenges the player to use mind-bending mental abilities to survive. After years of torture, former elite soldier Ian lives in a safe house with his brother, struggling with memory loss and the effects of the experiments he was forced to endure. In an attempt to tap into the hidden power of his mind, his captors left him scarred with unrelenting nightmares, visions, and unstable powers such as time manipulation and telekinesis, which those sounds pretty cool. Driven by his desperate need for the truth and a thirst for revenge, Ian, aided by his brother, sets out on a thrilling hunt for the masterminds of this conspiracy, hoping to uncover exactly what was done to him and why. As Ian plunges into a criminal underworld in pursuit of his only lead, he is forced to use his powers more and more to survive, but with each use his mind becomes ever more detached from reality, revealing the presence of an even darker force at play. I'm getting two specific readings off of this game, the first of which is that it sounds like an episode of Heroes, if I'm being honest with you. Pretty much a dude was tortured for years on end and discovers that he has powers that can kick some ass. Now on top of that, I'm also getting a strong Quantum Break vibe, and for those that don't know what Quantum Break was, it was a game that came out a couple of years back on the Xbox One and the PC, but the release of that game was a little bit rough, and so essentially it kind of died shortly after launch. But with that being said, brought some cool mechanics to the table, and so with this game, Past Cure, I'm hoping that I get a better version of Quantum Break, but we'll just kind of have to see what happens. I'm not sure about the elements of the game, I'm not sure about what the devs have in store for it, but it certainly is one to keep on your radar. To wrap things up, some honorable mentions. Age of Empires Definitive Edition is coming to the PC, Assassin's Creed Origins is getting its Discovery Tour DLC/update, which pretty much adds a tour mode where you can check out what's going on in ancient Egypt. I suppose that's kind of cool, and of course, that is coming to, as you would expect, the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. And finally, an interesting release, Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 Plus is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Certainly an awesome arcade game, not as good as the predecessor, the first Pac-Man Championship Edition, but hey, you know, we'll take what we can get. And with that, we wrap up this week's episode of The Drop. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, drop me a like down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button and click that notification bell to know when I do go live or upload a video. I would appreciate that very much. But as always, in the comments section or on Twitter, let me know what games are catching your eye, which ones you're going to be picking up, which ones are simply good games. But as for right now, I want to, as I said, thank you guys for watching this video. I will talk to you soon. Peace.